This is Vaughn Sigma with Allen Training Center bringing you an executive briefing on retaining your top talent. Recognition. Recognition is a very important key to retaining your top talent. Turnover hurts. Turnover is expensive. And today I'm going to go through one of the key components of being able to hang on to your best people. What most managers don't realize is that they are the ones who are affecting turnover, not the employee. It's the actions that they're taking or not taking that are driving many of their employees away. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Allen Training Center and myself. I'm a certified Allen Training trainer here in Huntington Beach, California. We have trainers all across the country. I'm a subject matter expert on leadership development. I've trained hundreds of managers in my career using all of these techniques that I'm going to be talking about today. I've used them at Kohl's, CarMax, and various other employers that I've had. And now I'm a full-time leadership development and management training expert, helping people all across the nation. I've worked with hundreds of managers. So recognition. There's many different ways to slow the tide of turnover, but recognition is a really important piece of it. You've got to make recognition part of your company's DNA. But what does recognition mean to you? More importantly, what does recognition mean to the people who report to you? So you've got to take into consideration that one size does not fit all. You've got to tailor your recognition to the individual. Now, I got to tell you, when I go in and begin work with companies and we come to this topic and we start talking about recognition, the employer, the managers within that organization generally have an opinion on what recognition is. And I got to tell you, through my experience, through my training, through my being able to gather the best practices of the best leaders on the planet and utilizing those and discovering what works, I find that what I thought what recognition was in a past life is very different in the employee's mind. And so first step, if you got to recognize that recognition to you is not necessarily what effective recognition is to employees. And the second piece of that is one size does not fit all. You've got to tailor the recognition approach to the individual. Now, this goes to understanding the wants and needs of each individual member of your team. And which leads to also the number one cause of turnover, which is a lack of a respectful and trusting relationship with their direct supervisor. That's the reason why 50% of all employees leave their job is because their boss. There's an old saying that people join companies, they leave bosses. And the number one reason why they leave their boss is they don't have a great relationship. But what I'm talking about with you in this executive briefing, recognition, is a very big component of building that relationship. There's many other components, and I'll bring those in future executive briefings, but we're going to talk about this one in a little more depth. A lot of employers, their concept of recognition is money. I'll just give them a bonus, I'll give them a raise, and I got to tell you, that doesn't really work for most people. It's not so much the action of giving them money. Money, you give it to them, and they go out and spend it. That recognition went in somebody else's cash register, to be honest with you, or went to pay a bill. No, I'm talking about something that's a lot deeper. It's not so much about your words and actions. It's about how you make your employees feel. That's when recognition becomes really effective. And being able to tailor that to each individual's needs, desires, is a key component of that. Some people like to be praised in public. Some people like to be praised in private. Some people hate to be the center of attention and recognized in a group of other people. Some people thrive on that. So you've got to understand, and money sometimes works with people as well. There's plenty of people out there that, hey, give them a bonus. That's your acknowledgement of their value, but that's a small percentage. So I'm going to talk about 4 proven methods that I know work because I've used them time after time after time with thousands of employees through my career. So first, celebrate. Very often I see companies from a recognition standpoint celebrating birthdays as a group. So all the January birthdays or all the March birthdays, we're going to get together on a set day during the month when we do our employee meeting, and we're going to celebrate everybody's birthday, which is nice. That's there's nothing wrong with doing that. But for it to be a true celebration and a highly effective approach to recognition, making that employee's emotional connection to you that much stronger, it's got to be a little more personal. So add a birthday card, a signed birthday card from you, from their supervisor, from their boss. Mail it to them, makes it even more special. Work anniversaries. Think about tangible versus intangible, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But if you were to give them a Lucite plaque for every 2 or 3 or 5 years that they work for you, that lives on forever. If you were to give them recognition on their work anniversaries, either publicly or privately, in some form or fashion, that you just recognize and appreciate the fact that they've been there. You got to make sure that you're keyed into what's going on in their personal lives. You got to understand their wedding anniversaries. You've got to make sure that you're giving them concessions around celebrating those. Give them time off for a wedding anniversary. Give them time off for their kids' birthdays. Just think about celebrations and how important that is to most people's lives, and value that. I talked about public versus private. You got to make it very, very, very much tailored to the individual. You always want to praise publicly, and then you want to give criticism or developmental feedback privately. So make sure that someone is comfortable with public praise, public recognition. If somebody's really shy and they don't like that, please don't do it that way. Most people are fine with that, but just be aware of that little piece of it. Tangible versus intangible. I've got boxes of recognition items that I've collected through the years that are some of the most precious items I own. And they're simply pieces of paper that, a boss has signed, or a Lucite plaque that I received, or a trophy or an award of some sort that I've gotten through the years that are very, very, very important to me. They've made that emotional connection to me. I can tell you, I've had lots of pats on the backs and lots of thank yous and lots of raises, and I've received lots of bonuses in my career. But again, all that went into the bank and went on to pay bills. These items, each time I touch them, each time I look at them, and I don't look at them as often as maybe I should, but every time I look at them, it ties me back to that moment that my boss gave me recognition or my employees gave me recognition. So think about tying some tangible item to each piece of recognition that you hand out. It is, think about an above and beyond award. Somebody that goes above the call and does a job that is more than expected. They take really good care of a customer. They got a customer service issue that they just went out of the way to take care of. They took on a project at work and did an exceptionally good job on it. They worked extra hours. They assembled other teams of employees to work on it. They just went that extra mile for anything. Somebody was out sick and they picked up that person's workload. Be looking for opportunities to catch people doing things right, captured onto a certificate, above and beyond, whatever you want to call it, and a recognition certificate. Put it in writing, sign it. It costs you 3 cents to print that. Put it in a $2 frame. Present that to the employee. It's one of the most precious things you can ever give to somebody, and they will hang on to it forever. And now you're making that emotional tie because you've got that tangible item that is tied with that recognition. It's better than just a pat on the back or a thank you. Special projects or assignments. It's a great form of recognition to be able to take someone who is doing a really good job, put them on a committee, give them a special project, have them work on problem solving items within your organization. I'll give you an example. I would assign committees for just about everything based on how well I knew this program working as recognition. So at one point I had a customer service issue in some stores. So I would form customer service committees made up of sales associates, business office associates, the buying team, different components within the business. 4 or 5 people, maybe 6 people, they get together, they meet once a month, and they would work on the steps, the action items that they and their teams, the individuals that they worked with, needed to go out and apply and work on in order to improve customer service. That accomplished 2 great things for me. 1, I got the problem solved. 2, I was recognizing them and they felt special because I put them on something that wasn't the norm. There was actually a 3rd item in there as I was developing them, which benefited me because I, in some cases, were able to take this person into a management role later in their careers. So special projects, assignments, let me tell you, you pull somebody aside and say, listen, we've got this problem. I think you're just the perfect person to help me get it resolved. And I'd like for you to work on this, come back with some of your opinions, ideas, some thoughts, some actions you believe we ought to take in order to get this problem solved. Man, $1,000 bonus doesn't go any further than something that is 0 cost to tie into that emotion. They'd appreciate that a whole lot more. They appreciate your appreciation a whole lot more by doing that. Just think about how you can not only recognize somebody, but also you get the double bonus of you get employee buy-in, you get bottom-up input into your organization, and problem solving. It is a great approach and one that I know is highly effective. That's it on recognition for today. Thank you all very much. I'm Vaughn Sigmund. You can contact me at vsigmund.com. When you visit my website, you can sign up for a free online training module from Allen Training Centers. Find me on LinkedIn. You can email me at vaughn@vsigmund.com or go to our website, allentrainingcenter.com. All the ways you can contact us. You also, if you're on the Allen Training website, you can see that we've got 3 really great training programs. If you're interested in any of those, let us know through the website or contact me personally. Thank you all very, very much.